Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for June 11th, 2023. Yeah, Cooper is ready. Anyway, so Cooper. This was a great reading week for me. It was just a normal work week, and it was long because it was the first 5-day weeks, or, working 5 days in a row that I did for like almost a month because I was sick 1 week, and then the next 2 weeks I had Fridays off as well as Memorial Day. So the next week was also a 4-day week. And then, so this week was a little long. And I did have one day where I had to stay almost 10 hours because I had to wait for some parts to come in. And I did it as a courtesy to another department. So it was fine. I got the overtime for it. But man, that was a tiring day. I don't know how the guys that I work with do 9.5 to 10 hours all the time. I don't know how people do it, admittedly. So it was a good week that way. I didn't do much else, except for a vlog that you guys will see later this week about my, putting, some bookcases in my guest room closet that my mom helped me clean out last weekend. So, I did build the big one on last Sunday. And then yesterday I built the smaller bookcase, Billy bookcases from IKEA. And, that was a little struggle. I should have put the shelves, little tabs in before I put it in the closet. That was hard to do that after I put them in place, but oh well. I got it done, and I've also moved stuff around. So I've done most of it, the big things from yesterday. I filled quite a bit of the bookcases in the closet from stuff in here and in my guest room. And so now today is to reorganize in here because I have gaps of where I pulled things. And I want to, get the books off the floor back get them onto the shelf. So I definitely have space now. It's just I'm going to try to figure out how to move things around for now. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so that vlog will be up later this week because I hope today to finish it up by getting it up. And so I'll listen. But I read a lot this week. And I'm really, I was really I was really trying to finish a series, which I did. And I'm so excited. And then, of course, continued to the companion series, which does not surprise anybody. And then there's some books that I started this week and really thought I wanted to read. But once I started them, I'm like, no, I don't really feel like that. So I have a couple of books that are on hold that I don't know what I'm going to do about yet. I don't think that one of them might be a real DNF, but the rest of them are more soft, like as in I'm going to come back to them. It wasn't the time, which is a topic of my reading. I probably will talk about it at some point. Hopefully I'll come up with a video idea for that. I don't know. Some talking one. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Anyway, so let's get to this because there's a lot of books. Luckily, a lot of these are in the same series, so I'm not going to have to talk too much about them. But I don't think it's any stretch of the imagination that I made progress in Beyond, the Beyond series by Kit Rocha. This is a dystopian erotica series that I started back when it first came out in the early 2010s. I don't remember when it started right now, but I got distracted when I moved back to Oregon after being gone many years, and I lost track of the series. So it kept coming out and I never finished it. So I have been working my way through this series to finally finish these. I got copies of these all last year. I had almost all of them on ebook before, and then I got a lot of them on audio. So I did listen to this on audio. This is book number 8 out of 9 novels, and there's a lot of novellas and stuff. So book number 8 is really close to the end. Again, this is a place where it's many years after a solar flare has taken out many places in the world, and this one town called Eden was built to be like the new great place, but it hadn't come online yet when the flares hit, so they survived. And so Eden is supposedly this utopian city where all the good people live, and then the sectors that are around it are all the people outside of the wall are those who are scraping by to get by with what resources they have. And they are broken up into 8 sectors, and we're following mostly those from Sector 4, which are the O'Kanes, And it is a big found family series, very sexy, very very violent, a lot of stuff going on there, bootleggers in the beginning. And as the story progresses, things get more and more political with sectors against Eden, which again there's always been tension there because, you know, they're the bad guys and, you know, Eden is this perfect place. It was again, this series it just gets better as they go on. This is one of the books because this is Hawk and Jenny, so this is one of the couples I wasn't expecting, and I didn't really remember that. This one I listened to on audio by Rebecca Estrella. So again, the book before this, Beyond Ruin, I believe. Yes, Ruin was number 7. That was where the narrator changed. So I had a lot of trouble getting into that book because the narrator changed from the first 6 novels. But this one I was more back into it. I still don't like her voices for the guys as well as I do Lucy Malone, who did the first 6 novels. But I got used to her. Rebecca Estrella is not a bad narrator. It was just I was used to one set of voices and then I had to switch, you know, so that was kind of hard. So this book was easier to listen to because of that. And this one had so many political things going on and such, like in 7, some hard hitting things happen and things that happen to them. I really enjoyed the plot stuff in here. The romance is not my favorite of the series. I would say pretty low of all of them. It wasn't bad. It still had good sexy times. It was just not the dynamic that I like. I did like them together. It wasn't like that. It just wasn't Kitty Hooper. Anyway, so I did really enjoy this, but I did finish that early in the week. And then I did physically finish Night Embrace by Sherilyn Kenyon, which is a reread for me. I read these back in the, I think, mid-2000s, maybe 2010. I don't know. I still haven't looked up my dates for this. I read it over 10 years ago. I don't remember. I read a lot of the series and then I got to book 9 and then I didn't continue. But this time I want to reread the 9 books that I read before and then continue on to at least to book 14, which is Acheron's book. And I just need to know how that one goes. And I hate myself for stopping this series before that because I really wanted to know what happened. Anyway, book number 2 is in the Dark Hunter series is a vampire paranormal romance series in New Orleans, and we're following Dark Hunters who are tasked with taking out demons, or they're kind of like vampires but have a different twist with like Atlantis and other things in the past and gods, because Artemis is in here and a few other things, other gods that are wreaking havoc for humans and stuff. And so the Dark Hunters are kind of like a front line to protect humans from these other things that could eat them or, you know, take away their soul and stuff. So this is following Talon, who is a Celt from, I don't know, like I can't remember how far back he was. Oh, 558. And so he had, you know, again, very hard life back there. He became a Dark Hunter then. So he has been a Dark Hunter for about 1500 years. And he meets Sunshine, who he connects to right away, even though she is very much not quite a flower child. She's an artist. So she's very proud of herself and her abilities and stuff, and she doesn't take shit or anything, but she also is kind of looks at the bright side of a lot of things. So he's very grumpy. Anyway, so this was just fun. This is not one of my favorite books. They're okay. Again, it just moves the plot along a little bit with or starts introducing characters that we'll see later in other books too. This one really, I forgot how many of the other Dark Hunters we meet in this one and how we're going to get to know them in the next few books. I remember those ones. Those are the ones I have read. So I'm looking forward to those books. I seem to remember liking them better. This one was just okay. It was not my favorite of the series. I don't think it'll ever be. It was fun to get back to this. So I reread this one. I finished rereading it. So I'm going to read book number 3 think it's Dance with the Devil. Yes, Dance with the Devil. So I will probably read that fairly soon, because that is Derek's book, and I don't ever say his name anyway, which I do like, because he's brutal anyway, but they're good sexy times as in. And then I finished the Beyond series of the main novels, but Beyond Surrender, which is, again, the last novel in the series, which is the whole lead up to everything that's happened in the 8 books before this. So book number 9. This was a fantastic book. Again, they still have the romance in it with Nessa and Ryder, which I really enjoyed. This was one of the ones I really liked, because I liked both the characters and I liked their interactions and things. And then to also see all these other things going on, this book made me cry. I was not expecting that to happen. I'm not going to say what happens. You know, this is, again, the culmination of everything. So this is where everything blows up and everything is at stake. And, oh, I cried. And I was at work. I was at work. It was a day I was just listening to the audiobook while I was working, you know, and then all of a sudden, I got to the part where I started, I mean, I'm like, hopefully nobody comes into my office right now, because it was bad. I was just like trying to hold it together, but it really hit me, which makes sense after I, you know, reread the early part of the books recently, and then read all the books that I hadn't read before. And so it just all kind of got to me by the end. I really liked the way it ended. I really liked how things happened. There's only one thing of the big battle thing that things that happened in this book that I called early. Like, I called that way back in a couple of books before. Everything else was like, I wasn't sure where this was going, because the last couple of books, things that were happening, I didn't know for sure that was going to happen. Like, it was just a surprise. So really, really enjoyed this conclusion to the main Beyond series. I really, really enjoyed this. So, because again, it has all the characters from all the other books and all the stuff going on. I think they did a really good job of ending the series with this book. I mean, and there are some other things that they've done beyond that, but this was a really good series ender. As I said, it got me emotionally, because it just did. And I'm glad I finally finished that book, and finished the series. I'm really glad that I just picked that up this year. As I said, I'm just reading what I can. So then the next 2 things are, okay, so they're connected to the Beyond series, but they're technically called O'Kane for Life. So they're just 2 shorter things. One is a novella called Beyond Doubt by Kit Rocha, which follows the couple from Beyond Pain, and it's the aftermath of everything that happened in book 9. So this was really good. I mean, you can't read this unless you've read book 9. I always say read the whole series, but these 2 are my favorite characters of the whole series. And so it was really great to get this story about them, of what they're going to do in going into the future. And as I said, they're my favorite. So I was really glad to get this. When I bought the whole series last year off of Kit Rocha's website, when they had a deal of buying the whole series for a certain thing, which I'm so glad I did. But I didn't know about some of these shorter ones, because I didn't have these on ebook. So anyway, I really enjoyed this one. Again, but it's considered part of the Beyond series, but also it's a shorter series called O'Kane for Life. And this is book number 1 for that. And then book number 2 is called Beyond Forever by Kit Rocha. So this is this is actually a weird one, because this one actually shows the past. So this actually is also, like Beyond Doubt, is the aftermath of what happened through the series. But this one actually goes back to kind of the beginning, showing how Dallas O'Kane started his empire at the time. And it was really good, because this is where he meets Lex, and it's their story, and it's showing the parts where they were interacting before Beyond Control, which is book 2 in the series, which is their book. But this was really good to get all those scenes that, they kind of hinted at, but we didn't get to see in book 2. So this was really great. I really enjoyed it, considering that it was all flashback pretty much. But it was really cool to see the series and some of the other characters who popped up that were, have been through the whole series. So anyway, I really enjoyed that as well. I read those fairly quickly. So that's all the Beyond stuff that I finished. So again, as I said, and then all week I was doing a buddy read with Berna at Berna's Bookish Adventures, and we were doing The Mill House Murders by Yukito Ayasuji. So this is the second book in The House Murders, which is the same one who did the Decagon House Murders. So Buddy read this earlier this year. Really, really enjoyed it. This is a retelling of And Then There Were None. So this was it was a really fun read. But I loved this book. So this was a mystery, and it has one character who kind of crosses over and then kind of talks about somebody kind of from the other book. So this, I don't want to give away what that is, but the character who carries over is the one who helped solve the Decagon House murder. So he comes to the Mill House, which a year ago had a friend of his had been there and had disappeared, and he was accused of stealing a very famous painting. The Mill House has this one man's very extensive collection, all of his paintings. His son has had this house built and has a gallery there, but he only allows people to come once a year on his father's death day to come and look at the collection. And there's four people who come every year due to different circumstances to see the collection. But the son does not want to sell it. He just shows it just to say, hey, it's still here. And lets them admire it for a day. They stay overnight and then they leave the next day. And that's kind of it. He hasn't sold any of the pieces. He has actually collected some of them back. So this house is in the middle of nowhere in the mountains. You know, it's kind of hard to get to. It has these mills, these water wheels that run for power and stuff behind the house. So they're an aspect. So it's this weird house. And then these people come on this one day every year. So there's two timelines. The year before, where the person went missing and a couple people died. And then a painting went missing. So that's all kind of the backstory. And then the news story is that this one character, Shimada, who was in the other book, he comes to try to figure out what happened to his friend. And he's also, you know, he's a mystery enthusiast. So he kind of private detective kind of, well, he's not accredited, you know, he's amateur detective, and he comes to try to figure out what happened. And because all the same people are there that were there who survived from the year before. So it's this great back and forth. You get the times and the present and the past, and it kind of goes through the day, like, you know, the same times, and you get to see what happened in the past, and then them telling what they remember during, you know, from the present, what they remembered. And the twists in here were really good. I really enjoyed the mystery of this. Me and Berna were like guessing back and forth who we thought it was, and it was really funny because by the end we were both kind of right but both really wrong. It was great because I kept changing my mind. It was one of those. And I think that was what made this just so much fun. If you guys read the Decagon Murders and just thought, hey, it was okay, I really thought this was much better. This is a locked room mystery. Again, these people are trapped at this house. So it's an isolated, you know, a location. They can't go anywhere. There's a typhoon coming through. I think that's what it is. Yeah, typhoon. And then, yes, Cooper. Anyway, and then I just really liked the way this was structurally put together, that I didn't know what was going to happen. I really, really enjoyed this. I hope that they bring out more of the book. I know there's supposed to be several more in the House Murders series done by this author. Again, this was written in Japanese in 80, or published in 80, was it 8? Hold on. 80 something, 88. And so this is translated by Ho Ling Wong. I thought this was really, as I said, this was like my favorite mystery I've read in a couple of years. I think I just enjoyed it so much because even though we'd read around 50 pages a day, and it would be just enough to be like, oh, what's going on? What's going on? And I wanted to know more, but I stopped every day like I was supposed to for the buddy read. And it just made me, you know, want to pick it up and read it pretty quickly. I think this is definitely a book that if you are very motivated and wanted a mystery to read within a day, you could even though it's 250 pages, I think it read really fast. I really enjoyed this mystery. And then I said, if you liked the Decagon house murders, or, you know, at least a little bit like this, I think this one, as I said, I like this locker room mystery better than, I mean, again, this one was like, and then there were none. So it's a little different. Its structure is also very interesting. They have both very interesting structures. I just hope they bring out more books, because I really, really enjoyed the Millhouse Murders. And as I said, it's probably one of the best books I read this year, which is weird because, again, mysteries are not something I read as much of anymore, straight up mysteries, but this one was really good, and I really, really enjoyed that. And then last night I finished The Savior's Book Cafe Story in Another World, Volume 1. So this is, I think these are based off of novels, which that'll be interesting, by Kyoka Izumi. But the story for this is done by Miya. But the art is by Reiko Sakurada. And the translator is Alexis Frank. So this is a 5-book manga series that follows a woman in her 30s who is told, you are the chosen one, you are the savior, you can go to save somebody. And she's like, well, I don't want to go, I'm in my 30s. And if you'd come to me like, you know, when I was in my teens, hey, why not? And he's like, well, no, if you could probably still do stuff. What do you want? What do you need? And she has all this list of stuff that she wants. She wants this cafe, and she wants to be able to do magic, and she has this whole, all these things that she wants at the start, and he gives it to her. And then it's her having her little book cafe. And one of the knights in this kingdom discovers her out here just on the outside of town, and again she has books, so he is allowed to just sit there and read and drink and eat, you know, she has food and drink. And so he really enjoys this safe space because he's always been a reader, but his kingdom is having issues because there is another savior in that's at the castle, and she is just kind of a freeloader pretty much. And so I think it's just kind of interesting, because I think it's going to be kind of the saviors going after, taking who's the one who's really going to save the country. And it's just cute. It's just cute so far. So I bought this, or got this with some credit I got at Pals, because I really wanted to try this, and my library did not have it. Yeah, I already bought the next 2. They're on their way to me out of the 5. So I'll probably collect those if I, you know, and read on. I really, really enjoyed it. It was just really cute. I would recommend that if you want kind of a fantasy, cozy fantasy manga. I'm guessing I must have seen somebody talk about it, because that's how this came on my radar, but I can't remember anybody actually reading this. But anyway. And then the last book I finished last night is A Rogue Meets a Scandalous Lady by Jennifer Ashley. This is book 11 in the Mackenzie McBride series that I am trying to get caught up on this year. It's a series that I have reread the beginning books many times. And then this year I read the 3 books that were I had stopped reading because they were a different timeline. They went back to the 1740s, and it was really hard to read those ones when I wanted to read about all the characters in the 1880s, 1890s. So this one is back to 1893, and we're following David Fleming, who is the Mackenzie, who's the Duke. He is like his right-hand man who goes and does kind of all the dirty work on the side. He's a land gentry, but he doesn't, and he's worked in the House of Commons anyway, during this time period in England. And but he has a really bad reputation because he's a bachelor, and he, you know, he gets into a fight at the very beginning with a duel, and he doesn't want to be in the duel, but the guy who claims that David slept with his wife, which he did not do, even though he could have done it with other people, but he didn't do it with her. And that he gets them all into legal trouble. And so he is sent into the country to kind of lay low until his lawyers and and the barrister who is going to help him out tries to get the court taken care of. And he goes to his old tutor, who is a vicar out, who is very much into archaeology, and he goes there, and his the vicar's niece is there, and she has had her own scandal. So this one I really liked David and Sophie. I really liked their connection and the romance with them. I disliked the whole all the legal trouble that David had for things that happened to him, and the things that and then the legal trouble that she was in that made her a scandalous lady. And I mean, I think it was showing how how people with power can try to get away with things and get rid of things that they don't want, or get rid of people that they don't want. So I think that there was some stuff to that. I just found that part that was not what I wanted. I wanted more stuff with the archaeology was in there too, which I thought was cute. I liked how that the uncle played into that. A lot of this I did like. I just didn't like all the legal stuff. So this was not a favorite. This will not be a favorite, even though I like the characters, and I will be glad to see them, as guest characters in the other stories. So but I made progress, so that's good. So now I just have one novella and another book to read. So I'm really close to getting caught up on this series. She hasn't been writing in this series much recently because she's been working a lot on her mystery series, so which I've not gone into. But I do want to get caught up this year. So I just have a novella and another book, and then I'll be caught up on the Mackenzie McBride series, which I'm excited to. So those are all the books that I finished this week, which is pretty good. I mean, I think I did pretty good. So really quick, Amy. Oh, I suck. Anyway. I just talk. Anyway, even when I had books all the same, I don't know what I did. Anyway, so I continued onto the Gideon Riders by Kit Rocha, which is connected to the Beyond series. I was not going to read these right away because I didn't have them, but I gotten them on audiobook this last week. Audible had a great sale on their site. I bought a lot of audiobooks, which I will go through. I'll probably talk about those in my book haul for June, because that's where a lot of my book money went this month. Was to audiobooks. But I did buy the 3 books in the Gideon Riders series. So this takes place after the Beyond series, the Beyond Surrender. So after that series, this is just a little bit after and a couple months afterwards, and we're following Ashwin, who is a Mackay soldier, who he's like a very elite soldier for the base that's at Eden, the military base there. And he's genetically modified. And Cora, who is a doctor, who he has kind of been earlier, it mentioned before that he's fixated on her. But there's more to it than that, and there's a lot of stuff emotionally between them. So I got the audiobooks, as I said. So I've been listening to that. Oh, I forgot the audio. It was a new audiobook person. Sorry, Chris the cat finds some paper because I cleaned the floor. Anyway. But anyway, it's going really well so far. I'm almost done with it. I think I have about an hour and a half left of the audiobook. So I'm probably going to finish that today or tomorrow. And then I do have Deacon, which is the next book. So we'll see. As I said, I just want to I feel like I want to just finish the whole Beyond universe and just finish all the books. So the last things I have, as I said, this is one of the 3 books, 3 novels are where they kind of stopped the series due to other things going on in their lives. So I don't know if we're going to come back and get more of this series, but I want to read the 3 books that are out. And this one I'm really, really enjoying, with getting to know all the Gideon's Riders and from Sector 1. So it's another sector and different things that we're learning. So I'm really enjoying it. So I am in the middle of that. As I said, I'll probably finish that today or tomorrow. The only other Beyond book that I have not read from the Beyond series, that's in the Beyond series, is Beyond Happily Ever After. These are Patreon stories that they did in the last few years while the series was wrapping up. So I have read everything that I could that has to do with the Beyond series. So the last 4 stories come after, one of them comes after Ashwin, one comes after the second book, Deacon, or maybe two of them come after Deacon. I don't remember. But I can't read these until I've read, no, two of them are after Ivan, the last book, the third book. So I have 4 stories left in here. So this will be on my currently reading for a little bit until I finish the 3 Gideon Riders books, if that makes any sense. All the rest of them I read. I really am glad I read them. Here, they have all, they're all novellas, or they're all short stories. They're between 100, like 1,500 to about 3,000 at the most. So they're all pretty short. And so I've read most, as I said, I've read 9 of the 13 that are in here. I can't read the rest of them until after I read Gideon's Riders, which is probably why I picked up the first book in that series, because I want to finish this and I want to finish the Gideon's Riders and be done with get caught up on everything. But it's just, I just couldn't stop that, even though the series, I was done. So then I have 2 books that, I did start The Secrets of Heartwood Hall by Katie Lunsen. So I only got about 45 pages in, and nothing wrong with this. It was just, this is not calling to me. And I decided, as I said, to push on with the Gideon's Riders instead. So this is just going to set aside. I did have the audiobook from the library, but I returned it because it was coming up due and other people were waiting and I wasn't going to listen to it. So I might read this physically in a little while, but right now I just putting it aside. This is, was written by Katie at Books and Things. So I bought it, to support her. And again, it's so far, it's definitely a, Gothic Victorian novel kind of thing. So, that time period, and we're following Margaret, who has recently been widowed, and she needs to get back into being a governess in order to support herself. And so she takes this job at Heartwood Hall to look after, I think it's Louis, a young, I think 10-year-old. And there's a lot of things at the house that are just kind of a little weird, and their relationship with the town. And so that's about as far. I didn't get, as I said, I only got 45 pages in. It was interesting. And I mean, mysteries were already starting. So I do want to get back to this. It's just my mood switched and I was like, no, I don't want to read this right now. So I will come back to this, but that is, it's not its fault. It really was a me thing. And then the other book that I'm not sure I'm going to continue, this hurts me, it's Ghost Killer by Robin D. Owens. So this is the 3rd book in the Ghost Seer series that I started this year. I had the first book I own, and I did a try a chapter on it probably a year before last or whatever. And I finally decided I better read some of those books that I kept after doing the try a chapter tag. And so I read the first book, Dragon Seer, and not Dragon Seer. Why that's weird. Anyway, Ghost Seer, and I did like that. And then I read Ghost Lair from the library, and I enjoyed it. It was okay. They're all just okay. They're like, yeah, they're okay. They're like 3-star reads. They're fun for the moment, and then I'm not going to care. But this was a 5-book series, and I really wanted to finish it. So it took me over a month for the person who ever had this book to return it to the library. And now I'm 85 pages in, and I don't know if I want to continue. And on that Audible sale, I bought books 4 and 5 because at the time they were like over $12 each, and I was like, I'm not paying for them. But they turned out to be like $2.50 on the sale. So I spent $5 to buy 4 and 5, and now I'm trapped in book 3, and I don't know what I want to do. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue or not. So this is I'm not sure I'm going to DNF this or not. So it's a library book. I still have a couple weeks with it. I'm hoping that I'll pick it up one day and just finish it, and then I could listen to the other 2 books to finish the series out. But I don't know. I might just be like, awash, those 5 books are gone, and I just DNF the series. I'm not sure I like it enough to continue. Okay, so this book is about oh, her name just went out. Claire, I thought so. Claire, and she is, in the first book, her aunt has just died. And when her aunt died, she left Claire almost everything that she had. And it also turns out that her psychic ability moved to Claire so Claire could see ghosts. And she, you know, has been very logical. She was an accountant. She doesn't understand what's going on. So the first book is her coming to know about her power and trying not to go crazy because of it, because she's might reject it. And if she does, she'll go crazy. The second book is her kind of getting into things more. She meets her love interest in the first book. He is a ex sheriff's deputy who was in who got shot and was injured, so he had to retire, and he moved from another state to Denver, which is where this takes place. So it's all the Old West. Ghosts are what she can see is that time period. It's like the mid 1800s. So it's really interesting that way. It's just this one, I don't know. I don't know if I'm just tired of the series already or what. So I am going to keep this for a little bit longer and hope one day that I just pick it up, but I'm not really confident about it. And then really quick, I am going to get back to Les Mis this week. I'm doing with a read along, and I have it tabbed up to what they are doing per week. So I am partway through the second between the 11th and the 17th. So I think I have 45 pages. So I do have the audio for this, but I also have the physical. So I might do a combo to try to get through this. My goal, again, this is for the whole summer. I just want to get through this book. This is my March of the Mammoth fail. But it's a book I really want to be able to say I've read. So I, as I said, I'm joining in on Instagram. Pixie Hollows is the one who's doing it. I'll have her Instagram linked down below. I just want to get, as I said, so I'm going to get back into it this week. I said I have 45 pages I have to read this week. I think most of them are about 100, a little over 100. The next 125, I think, is the next section. So it's like every 7 to 10 days. It matters how they broke up the weeks, or, you know, the things I have to go off of the list. Anyway, point is, I'm going to get back to this and try to read that. And then stuff, I don't know what I'm going to pick up today, but on Monday, I'm going to start Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, I hope, because there's some read along on somebody's channel. They took a picture of the the dates. So it split up like every 50 so pages. You can't really see that, but I do have it split up for a 7-day read on this. And but I don't remember who I took that picture of their screenshot. So if you know, it's some group is reading this on the 12th through the 18th? I think so. I think that's right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm going to do that schedule. So this is again about a woman, Violet, who is forced to go to the Dragon Riders school at the last minute, even though she was trained, she was going to go be a scribe, but her mother, who is a general, said, nope, you're going to go be a Dragon Rider or die. So, and then this is her journey, to become that, I think. And so again, I don't know how I'm going to feel about this. I admit it. I bought this when I was sick. So, you know, I just bought it because it was really pretty and had dragons, and a lot of people are talking about it. So I'm probably going to, as I said, I'm going to probably start that tomorrow and try to read it to there, even though I don't know who was doing that read-along. I don't know. If you know, let me know. And then I don't know what I'm going to pick up today. I'm just going to show the books that I possibly might pick up. So I might pick up A Strange Hymn by Laura Thalassa, which is book 2 in the Bargainer series. I might pick up the first book in The Dead God's Heart duology by Lila St. Croix, Spring's Arcana. I want to read this so that I know if I want to pre-order the second book in the duology. So I might want to read that. I might reread Big Bad Wolf by Solinka Snyder, because I want to read the second book, the duology, Pretty Little Lion, which I've never got to, but I have to reread the first book. I just don't remember it. It's been like 3 or 4 years. So I might want, this is a paranormal. This one's an urban fantasy. And this is fantasy romance. Sorry. And then I also might pick up Ashes and the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent so that I can complete this duology. So I might do that. And then I will at some point start reading more of The Sandman. This is volume 2. book 2. So I do want to get some of that done. And audiobook wise, I'm sure I'll be reading Deacon of the Gideon Riders series, and possibly Ivan to complete that audiobook, complete that series. So I'm up to date there, and then I can read the little short stories and be done with that all complete. So we'll see what happens this week. I just have a couple appointments this week that will take some time. And then again, work is just normal. And then the weekend, I might go on Saturday, go with my dad down to Pal's downtown. So we might be spending all of my credit and gift cards that I have from Pal's. So that'll be mostly, what other books I buy this month. Cause I'm trying not to buy too many books not physically. I bought so many audiobooks. I'm trying not to spend too much money with books, but if I go to Pal with my dad, I have all credit. I have like over $100 or almost $200 in credit and gift cards there. So, it's just space. And as I said, I'm working on my bookcases today. So I think that's it. I have talked way too long, and I talked more than I meant to. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you are interested in the dystopian erotica series, I definitely like the Beyond series. It's just a great 4-star, I would say, read. The last book was number 9 was a 5-star, only because of the way it wrapped up everything, that novel, and made me cry. So I had to give that one 5. So I actually had 2 5-stars this week, which is this year has been really low on the 5 stars. I have had some really great fun reads, like again, a lot of 4 stars and, a little bit above 4 stars really, but there's been just so many good series books that are like 4s, but my 5 stars are really low, but I did have 2 this week. So I'm pretty proud of, or glad for that at least. So anyway, okay. Talk too much. I will talk to you guys later. Let me know what you are reading, or if you read any of these, or what you think I should pick up next. Let me know, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Oh, Cooper says bye.